Peter Zalmayev is the director of the Eurasian Democracy Initiative, and he joins me now live from Kyiv. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak to us today. Let's just start first with this refusal from the part of Vladimir Putin to attend these talks in Turkey. Why?
Well, I think that Vladimir Putin realized that he just wouldn't look good in comparison with the Ukrainian president, who was actually a master of such showdowns. He would, I think, seriously upstage the Russian president, and Putin is very wary of ever looking weak or not up to standards, and he's frankly paranoid about such encounters. Don't forget also that Putin has, for the duration of this war, proclaimed Zelensky as illegitimate, especially lately as Zelensky's nominal first term has run out. And there we cannot have new elections simply because the Constitution does not allow for holding of elections during peacetime. But Vladimir Putin has sort of boxed himself in with his rhetoric to where now to appear next to Zelensky would diminish him, as he thinks, in front of his elites and his people. Also, I think the fact that Trump would be willing to travel there and put pressure by being there on these talks and on Vladimir Putin, that also automatically puts Putin between a rock and a hard place, because by all indications, if you ask me, Vladimir Putin is not genuinely willing to sit down and talk. He feels time is on his side. He feels there's a momentum on the front lines in Russia's favor, and therefore he is not really willing to wrap this up anytime soon.
Indeed. And yet here we have one president, at least, the Ukrainian president, Vladimir Zelensky, who is at these talks in Turkey today. He's going to be meeting a Russian delegation, which he's actually said is not adequate to be discussing with him. So given all of that, what's the point of having these talks at all?
For the Ukrainian side, this is to show, to send a signal to Donald Trump that they're serious about this. The Ukrainian side simply cannot afford to look like the recalcitrant, unwilling party after what we saw at the White House at the Oval Office. You remember that ignominious meeting. And so the Ukrainians are also playing within a very narrow sort of space here. And Ukraine has, I think, done all it could, and I think it's played its cards quite masterfully when it comes to the talks in Turkey. So the ball is Vladimir Putin's court, very, very much so. And yes, you did mean the level. I mean, you did talk about the level of the Russian delegation. I mean, I wouldn't say anything other than they sent a clown again. I'm sorry, but the gentleman who also led the talks 3 years ago, his name is Medinsky. He's actually originally from Ukraine. He is not a very serious player. He's way, way below down the chain of command in the Russian hierarchy. He's a minister of culture. He's a jingoist. He is known to be quite an unserious character. You know, he likes Joseph Stalin and all these things. So just on the look of it, I mean, the Russians didn't even send Lavrov, the foreign minister. This is actually a very clear signal what Vladimir Putin thinks about Trump's peace initiatives.
Indeed, and we even heard from Sergei Lavrov, who described Vladimir Zelensky as pitiful just a few moments ago. So given all of this, I mean, given the fact that it seems like we are indeed at this impasse, what's the way forward?
Oh, the way forward is for Donald Trump to reestablish transatlantic unity, to get on the same page with the Europeans and put forward a unified front when it comes to Russia. All the talk of sanctions we've heard from the European leaders, Trump has to match that rhetoric. There has to be a concerted plan of action, new sanctions, and more weapons for Ukraine.
And so are you optimistic at all that that will happen?
It will have to happen, and I think there's a good chance that finally we're gonna see some Republican congressmen, rediscover their spine and talk some sense into Donald Trump that it's time to stand by our allies and stop looking weak before Vladimir Putin.
All right, Peter, thank you for that. Peter Zalmayev, the director of the Eurasian Democracy Initiative in Kyiv.